Doctors once praised 2 sour fruits as safe for diabetics, but now research shows they may actually raise blood sugar. This shift leaves many wondering if what they've been eating is silently making things worse. The truth is simple but urgent, and you deserve to hear it clearly. Stay with me because this alert could change the way you see these fruits forever. There's something about sweet corn that feels comforting, right? It shows up at barbecues, family dinners, and even in soups on a chilly day. But when you're living with diabetes, this food that looks harmless can actually make things harder. Sweet corn is naturally sweet, and that sweetness can sneak up on you, raising blood sugar without you even noticing. It feels like a friend, but sometimes it behaves more like a tricky guest at your table. Have you ever enjoyed a bowl of sweet corn and later felt more tired than usual, almost heavy in your body? That's because the sugar in it moves quickly, and for many people, it leaves behind a wave of fatigue. It's frustrating, because on the outside it looks healthy, even natural, but inside your body, it can spark discomfort, especially when you're already dealing with the ups and downs of diabetes. Think about your joints for a moment. Have you ever noticed your knees or hands aching more after certain meals? Sweet corn may play a role in that, because the sugar spikes don't just affect blood sugar, they can also stir up inflammation. And when inflammation shows up, it makes those little daily pains, like getting out of bed or walking across the room, feel heavier. That's something no one tells you when they hand you a plate of corn at a summer picnic. But don't worry, I'm not saying you can never enjoy it. Life is about balance, and food should still bring joy. Instead of piling your plate with corn, try treating it like a small side. For example, if you want to enjoy corn at dinner, make sure the rest of your plate has plenty of leafy greens, grilled chicken, or a little avocado. That way the corn doesn't take over. It just adds a little flavor without controlling how you feel afterward. One simple trick is to mix a small spoon of corn into a salad, instead of eating it by itself. The crunch of lettuce, the creaminess of a boiled egg, and just a sprinkle of corn give you that taste without overwhelming your body. Have you ever tried it this way? If not, maybe this is the moment to experiment and see how your body reacts. Sometimes small changes make the biggest difference. Another way to keep things under control is to avoid canned corn when you can. The canned version often has added salt or even sugar that makes things worse. Fresh corn taken right off the cob is always the better option if you want to enjoy it once in a while. You can even freeze fresh corn at home so you have it ready without turning to canned versions. Have you ever done that? It's easier than people think. Here's something I love: grilling corn on the cob but not eating the whole thing. Slice off just a few kernels and mix them with other roasted vegetables like zucchini, bell peppers, or onions. That way you still get the smoky flavor, but your plate is colorful and balanced. Doesn't that sound like something that could make dinner a little brighter without leaving you feeling sluggish later? Now, let's talk about cravings. Do you sometimes find yourself craving sweet corn because it reminds you of family meals or old traditions? Food memories are powerful. But instead of giving them up, why not create new versions of those dishes? For example, you can make a hearty chicken soup and toss in just a few kernels for flavor. You'll still have the comfort, but your blood sugar won't pay the price. And if you're ever feeling tempted to eat a whole bowl, here's a thought. Pause and ask yourself how your body felt last time. Did you feel swollen? Did your feet ache more? Sometimes writing those little notes down helps us remember later. I'd love to know, have you ever noticed a link between corn and how your body feels afterward? If yes, write the word corn in the comments below. Your story might help someone else here. One more thing to think about is timing. Eating sweet corn earlier in the day, like at lunch, gives your body more hours to process it. If you eat it late at night, the sugar has nowhere to go and it can mess with your sleep. Have you ever had trouble sleeping after a heavy meal? This could be one of the reasons. I want you to feel like food works for you, not against you. That's why small adjustments, like enjoying corn as part of a bigger meal, can make a world of difference. It doesn't mean giving up the foods you love. It means being smarter about when and how you enjoy them. That's a lesson many people never hear from their doctor, but it's something you can try starting today. And don't forget, your voice matters here. If you've tried new ways of eating sweet corn, share them in the comments. Sometimes one little tip can be the lifeline another person needs. Maybe your recipe or trick will be the one that helps someone else finally feel more in control of their diabetes. Food should never be just about restriction. It should also be about joy and connection. Sweet corn doesn't have to be the enemy, but it does need to be handled with care. Like a tool, it can either help or hurt, depending on how you use it. And I believe you deserve to use it in a way that makes your body stronger, not weaker. So next time you see sweet corn at the table, take a moment to pause. Think of it as a flavor, not the main dish. A sprinkle here, a spoon there, and your meal still feels warm and satisfying. With little shifts like these, sweet corn can still be part of your life, just without the aches, the spikes, or the regrets that sometimes follow. Sweet corn may look small, but the way you choose to eat it has a big impact. By making smart choices, you not only protect your sugar levels, you also keep your joints, your energy, and your peace of mind steady. And that's what matters most. Living each day with more comfort and less worry, even when familiar foods like corn try to get in the way. Now you can join our channel's exclusive group. As a super member, you get priority responses. I'm notified and reply to you first, but if I were you, I'd go further. As a loyal member, you also get early access to videos before anyone else. Stay one step ahead and enjoy exclusive content firsthand. Don't miss out. Click now and become a member. When you think of comfort food, the white potato often comes to mind. Mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving, baked potatoes with a little butter, or crispy fries at a diner. It feels like it belongs in every season of life. But when you live with diabetes, this simple potato can quietly make things tougher. It looks plain and harmless, yet it often leaves the body feeling heavier and the sugar levels more unstable. Have you ever noticed that after eating potatoes you feel tired, almost like you want to take a nap? That's because white potatoes can cause quick sugar jumps in the body, even though they don't taste sweet. And when sugar jumps like that, your energy can suddenly crash. For someone trying to stay steady, it can feel like riding a roller coaster you didn't ask to get on. Think for a moment about mornings. If you start your day with potatoes, like hash browns or home fries, you might feel full at first, but soon after your joints may ache and your feet may feel swollen. That's not a good way to begin the day. And it makes you wonder, is this food really giving you the strength you need, or is it quietly stealing your energy? But here's the good news. There are small ways to still enjoy potatoes without letting them control your health. One idea is portion size. Instead of filling half your plate with potatoes, try cutting it down to just a few bites alongside protein and vegetables. That way, you enjoy the flavor, but avoid the overload that makes you feel drained. Have you ever tried cooling your cooked potatoes before eating them? When a potato is boiled and then cooled in the fridge, even overnight, it changes the way the body digests it. That simple trick can make it easier on your sugar levels. It's one of those little kitchen secrets that doesn't take effort, but can make a big difference in how you feel afterward. Think about potato salad. Most people load it with mayo and big chunks of potatoes. But what if you flipped the recipe? More celery, cucumbers, eggs, or even a sprinkle of herbs, and just a small amount of cooled potato mixed in. You'd still get the comfort, but your body wouldn't have to work so hard. Doesn't that sound like something worth trying at your next family gathering? Let's talk about pain for a moment. Do your knees or back sometimes feel stiff after a heavy meal? That's often tied to foods that cause swelling inside the body. White potatoes can sometimes add fuel to that fire. But when you reduce how often you eat them, you may notice less swelling, fewer aches, and even more freedom to move around the house without discomfort. One easy swap is using sweet potatoes instead. They have a natural sweetness, but behave much differently inside your body. You can mash them, roast them, or bake them just like white potatoes. And the best part? Many people notice fewer sugar swings and less stiffness afterward. Have you tried swapping them before? If so, I'd love to hear in the comments how it felt for you. And if you haven't tried it, maybe write the word potato in the comments today. That way we can see how many people here are dealing with the same struggles. Sometimes just knowing you're not alone makes the challenge feel lighter. Your one word could spark a conversation that helps someone else feel heard and supported. Potatoes also show up in little hidden places. Think of soups, stews, casseroles. Suddenly there's more potato in the dish than you even realized. That's why it helps to pay attention and ask yourself, how much of this do I really need? Sometimes just leaving out one potato from a recipe makes enough difference for your body to handle it better. Do you ever feel like food choices are stealing your joy? I want you to know potatoes don't have to do that. You can still smile when you see them on the table, but instead of saying yes to the whole plate, you say yes to just a little. That choice belongs to you, not the potato. And that's a powerful shift. Here's another tip. Bake smaller potatoes instead of the big ones. A small baked potato paired with a little grilled chicken and broccoli feels like a complete meal. But if you eat a large one, it's almost like doubling the sugar hit. So smaller portions aren't just about eating less, they're about giving your body the respect it deserves. And what about fries? They're everywhere, right? At diners, drive-thrus, even on your own stove at home. But fries don't just carry the potato sugar, they also bring oil and salt that make swelling worse. If you're craving that crunch, try roasting small potato wedges in the oven with a light brush of olive oil and herbs. The flavor is still there, but your body doesn't pay the same painful price. Do your hands ever feel stiff in the morning? Almost like your fingers don't want to move right away. That stiffness can be linked to foods that trigger swelling, and potatoes are often part of that story. When you cut back, you may notice your hands feel looser, and daily tasks like buttoning a shirt or tying shoes become easier again. Isn't that worth making the change? Sometimes it's not just the potato, it's what goes on top. Sour cream, butter, cheese, bacon bits, each one piles on extra strain. But imagine swapping those for lighter toppings like plain Greek yogurt with herbs, or even just a drizzle of olive oil with garlic. You'd still get the creamy taste, but your body would thank you in the morning. Now let's talk about family. Have you ever felt pressure to eat what everyone else is eating, even when you know it makes you feel worse later? That's a tough spot, but sharing your story can help. Tell your family, I love potatoes, but I need to treat them differently. And maybe even show them a new recipe with fewer potatoes and more vegetables. You might inspire them too. I wonder, have you ever written down how you feel after meals? Sometimes keeping a little food journal shows patterns you didn't notice before. Write down when you ate potatoes and how your body felt a few hours later. Did your joints ache? Did you feel tired? That kind of note-taking gives you power to see what works and what doesn't. And please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with us here. Write a comment about your potato experience. Maybe you'll say, potatoes make me tired, or potatoes are fine if I eat them small. Whatever your truth is, your words can guide someone else who's struggling silently. This space is about lifting each other up. Remember, potatoes aren't evil. They're just a food that needs respect, especially when your body is already working hard. Treat them like a guest at the table, not the host. Give them a seat, but not the whole stage. Doesn't that shift the way you see them now? Another helpful swap is cauliflower mash. Have you tried it? Steamed cauliflower blended with a little garlic and olive oil can taste surprisingly close to mashed potatoes. It's lighter, easier on your body, and still gives you that warm comfort on the plate. Even if you try it just once, it could become a new favorite. Think about holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. They all seem to feature potatoes front and center. But what if this year you brought a new dish, like roasted carrots or green beans, and put them beside the potatoes? You'd still join the tradition, but also take care of yourself. Sometimes those small changes become new traditions over time. Do you ever feel like potatoes call your name when you're grocery shopping? It's okay. We've all felt that pull. But maybe this week when you see that bag of potatoes, grab a smaller one, or choose sweet potatoes instead. That little choice could make your next meal easier on your body. One thing many people don't realize is that how you cook potatoes makes a big difference. Boiled and eaten plain hits your sugar differently than roasted with skins or eaten cold in a salad. So it's not just yes or no with potatoes, it's also how. And when you learn the how, you take back control. Do your ankles ever swell after a long day? Potatoes, especially when fried or salted, can make that swelling worse. Cutting back or choosing them less often can bring real relief. Imagine ending your day with lighter steps, not heavier ones. That's a gift worth giving yourself. Here's something fun to try. Roast cauliflower, broccoli, and just a few small potato cubes all together. When they're mixed on the pan, the potato becomes part of the flavor, not the star. You still taste it, but your body doesn't get overwhelmed. Doesn't that sound like a win-win? I'd like to ask you something. What's one memory you have with potatoes? Maybe mashed potatoes at your mother's table, or fries at a fair. Share that memory in the comments, because food is not just about health, it's also about heart. And remembering those moments helps us see that change isn't about losing joy, it's about keeping it in new ways. And if you've ever struggled with potatoes, you're not alone. Many people here have the same story, and together we can find better answers. So don't hold back. Write potato below if you've ever felt the crash, the swelling, or the fatigue. Let's make this a space where no one has to feel alone in their journey. At the end of the day, potatoes don't have to be your enemy. They can still be on your table, just in smaller, smarter ways. They can be part of the story without being the headline. And when you handle them that way, you give your body less pain, more balance, and a brighter tomorrow. So next time you see potatoes on the menu, pause and smile. Remember, you're in control, not the food. Choose a smaller piece, cook it smarter, or swap it for something lighter. With each choice, you're telling your body, I care about you. And that's the kind of love that lasts far longer than a plate of potatoes ever could. White potatoes may look plain and simple, but the way you use them decides how you feel tomorrow. With mindful choices, they can still have a place at your table, just not the power to take away your comfort. And that's the balance you deserve every single day. Before you go, I want you to think about something important. You've just learned how foods like sweet corn and white potatoes can quietly make life harder for someone with diabetes. But there's so much more you need to know about eating in a way that keeps your sugar steady and your body feeling lighter. Right now, I'm leaving a video on the screen that shows you how to eat better with diabetes. And let me tell you, it's filled with tips and food secrets that most people never hear from their doctors. If you skip it, you might miss the very thing that could make your next meal easier and your nights more restful. I don't want you to wake up tomorrow wondering why the sugar still feels out of control when the answers are right here. That's why this next video is so powerful. It connects the dots in a way that finally makes sense. You've come this far, and your health deserves the full picture. Imagine how good it would feel to enjoy food without worrying every bite might come back to hurt you. That's the kind of peace the next video can bring. And I promise, the more you understand about these everyday foods, the more control you'll take back in your own kitchen. Don't leave this moment half-finished. You've already started a journey towards steadier sugar and less pain. Why stop now when the next step is right in front of you? So here's my advice. Click on the video I'm leaving on the screen. Don't wait, don't think twice. If you care about living each day with more freedom, this is the video you need to see right now. Your health is too important to leave for later. Click, watch, and take in what could change the way you see food forever. See you there.